I've heard a lot about your music videos, Ross. Tell me how you've been using conventions of other videos.
One way in which we've used conventions of other music products similar to our own is we chose a narrative which was quite based around romance and love and life. This is quite a popular narrative and goes along with the song that we chose because the song was quite slow, and we decided to make the pace of the video quite slow as well, which is similar to what Lana Del Rey does in her own videos. We took the convention of a female solo performer from videos such as Lana Del Rey. We did this to attract a similar audience as what Lana Del Rey videos would, and we placed the artist very similar to how Lana Del Rey would be positioned, looking directly into the camera to connect with the audience. Finally, we also used a lot of close-up shots on both our performance and narrative side of the video. We decided to do this because a lot of videos which have a similar kind of purpose in order to create emotion from the audience do this to create intenseness and to draw the audience in. Our song is very emotion fueled.
I see some conventions have been developed. Explain.
Ways in which we have developed conventions from other music videos into our own music video is we have used handheld footage. Lana Del Rey does this in her own videos, and we decided to develop this by not using it throughout the whole video, but just using it in certain sections and certain chunks where we felt it was applicable. We decided to do this because it added a lot of realism to it and helped in connecting emotion with the audience. Point of view shots and handheld shots really worked in terms of showing that it's a real situation that's really actually happening. Lana Del Rey, in one of her videos we found, also uses a kind of projections and shadows in her performance. We really liked this idea and decided to do that in our own piece, but decided to develop that by using a projector and using handheld footage from the actual video to project onto her face. We decided to do this because we wanted a connection between both the performance and the narrative and felt this was the best way around going about it.
A little bird told me that you've challenged conventions as well.
Ways in which we've challenged conventions of other music videos of the similar genre is we decided to have a solid narrative, quite a bulky narrative, which told the whole life story of a girl. Whereas most videos which go around the same genre tend to have smaller stories and very vague stories which don't have a clear beginning and end. Whereas with ours, we decided to use a full story because we felt that would connect more with the audience, and the song lent itself to telling a whole life story of this girl. Lana Del Rey, being an American artist, she brings a lot of her kind of American patriotism to her videos. We didn't really want to do this because we wanted our video to be more relatable to an English audience. We decided to challenge the convention because Lana Del Rey talks a lot about the free land and drugs and drinking and things like that, and showing that in her videos. We decided not to go along that route, and with ours we decided we wanted to make it more relatable with an English audience dating from the 1960s up until now.
So Jamie, have you been using conventions of similar media products in your digipack?
On the front cover of the digipack, our artist is central. This makes her the centre of attention. We used a mid-shot to capture this because it allowed us to see her beauty and emotion, which is the female stereotype. Our artist name and album name were made large to make a statement, make them very bold and iconic. We used a house style throughout to make sure that the document was the same throughout, so you could pick any of the panels and you would know it was from the same digipack. This applies to Lana Del Rey's album Ultraviolence, which used the black and white colour scheme. We wanted to go for that same sort of consistency and house style.
I also believe you've been developing conventions in your digipack.
We developed the norm of Lana Del Rey's sort of genre by having a heavily edited image on the front. This is uncommon in Lana Del Rey's genre, as it's normally the pop that are left to do that to appeal to a wider audience, whereas Lana Del Rey is more of a niche audience. However, we did want the artist to be more well received and reach a wider audience, make it more marketable.
Have you been challenging conventions of similar media products?
To challenge the conventions of the digipack, we just used a texture on the back panel of the digipack rather than an image of the artist. Normally, a series of photos are taken in a photo shoot, and then one of those photos would end up on the back panel because normally people would want to see the artist on there. This is to give the overall impression of the Digipack appearing as a clock.
So Rebecca, is this your advert?
Yeah.
Tell me how you've been using conventions of similar media products.
We used conventions of other adverts by taking elements of graphology into account, such as having the album cover in the bottom right-hand corner, which allowed the target audience to see what they were buying. Another use of conventions was the eye contact that the solo artist made with the camera. This allowed the artist to engage with the target audience, made them want to buy the album. It was quite sensual and, in a sense, mysterious. This was a common factor in a lot of Lana Del Rey adverts and digipacks that we have researched in the past few months.
And how have you developed those conventions?
In terms of development, the mise-en-scène of the main image is very striking. It's very unique. It's a very staged image. Her body language and her facial expression are forced. They're not natural. It's not something that's just been taken. It's very different to other similar media products that we have looked at, where the image is very natural, with natural lighting, taken, for instance, in a car or on a beach.
Finally, Rebecca, how have you challenged conventions in your advert?
We've challenged other adverts by not having any reviews. With most of the other promos that we saw, there were reviews from different magazines or newspapers, which gave a star rating and sometimes a little quote. But when we put that into our advert, it looked a bit too much like a film poster, and that's not what we were creating, so we couldn't quite follow that convention. We had to challenge it by removing them.